Hello everybody, Johnny Flyer. It is experimentation night here at the workbench, and tonight, or today, whatever time you're watching the video, I am working on a piece from one of the trains that I got that was pretty badly corroded, and this particular piece looked like it had been dropped, and you could see pieces had broken off, and I've taken off already with the Dremel tool a lot of the corrosion that was here, but you can see it wasn't in great shape, and as I continued to kind of look at it, I realized, you may not be able to see it because I'm looking with one hand here, there is a crack in the back here, and it goes all the way through. It was a lot more severe when I found it, but now that I'm prepping this thing, we're going to do a little bit of a JB Weld job to it. So I've got my JB Weld, and I've got my container to mix in, which I've used before, and a couple of tools just to make sure I'm able to smooth it out nicely and shape it. So what I intend to do is I'm going to JB Weld. Let's see if I can set this up so you can watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to JB Weld the portion here that's cracked, and the crack pretty much runs almost all the way across the top here. You can't quite see it from this angle. And I'm going to JB Weld that, and I'm going to try a technique I saw in Mr. Barker's book. And I'm going to try and create this little piece right here with a little bit of shaping. So what I'll probably do is I'll put a generous amount of JB Weld here, and then using my Dremel tool, I'm going to kind of flatten that out and see if I can create an end piece here rather than ordering a completely new piece. I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of artistry on this. And then when I'm done, I'll paint the whole thing, and we'll see how it looks. So I'm going to have to stop here, and I'll show you my next step once I've got the JB Weld on and it's been shaped, and then I'll let it dry a little bit. Okay, so this is the first stage here, and as you can see, I've got a craft stick back just to provide a bit of a backing here. I thought about kind of gluing a jig and trying that out, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try my sort of artistic crafting skills and see if I can't shape it a little bit. Got the back here, but I don't want to flip it around and show you because I'm trying to let gravity sort of do its thing and cover this area here so I can do the shaping of it. But we're going to let this dry overnight and probably hit it about 24 hours later and see how we do. Just one little sort of interesting tidbit. I picked this one up of a video I saw. Something that really works well to shape, and especially in small areas, are these little craft knives or X-Acto style knives. Yes, this is, with the breakable short tips here, but they're really flexible and they work really well in some narrow areas. And actually, I think it works better than some of the other hobby knives I've dealt with. And they're relatively inexpensive. The dollar store is your friend. And so I picked this one up, and I'm liking this as a shaping tool. So I'm going to keep this as a technique. But anyway, just to sweeten the pot here for your video watching pleasure, a little tidbit from me. We'll see how it does, and I'll catch you guys up once we've let it dry for 24 hours. Okay, so this is what we did. We gave it a nice kind of extra piece here on top that I'm going to now take off. This is cured overnight. I tried to leave the grooves in here and make a nice carving so that it sits really well. So now we're just going to kind of work the JB Weld. I'm going to try to flatten this out just a little bit. You can kind of see the back. I don't know if you can in the light, but you can kind of see the back. It actually firmed up really nicely here. So this is pretty sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. I have to carefully separate this from the back, and then I'm going to start to shape this just a little bit with the Dremel tool. So I'm going to take a few minutes here and do that, and I'll take a video for kind of the final results here. Okay, folks, so I have sanded it down. You can see I've tried to flatten it out as much as I can. Unfortunately, it looks like whenever it was dropped, it got bent all out of shape, and it was going to be really hard to get just right. You see the bottom there is a little bit just off kilter. But really the front is the cosmetic part, and that's what's important. So what we did was we shaped it. You can see I shaped the JB Weld to try to be as square as I could, kind of like this side right here. And then I tried to give it the same appearance as this side by digging in some channels here all the way down. and try to even those out as much as I dared. Didn't create this rounded effect because I was worried I was going to lose some. I might do that just to try to at least make this side look like this side. But for the most part, it looks pretty good. It's pretty square. So we got a good seam here. Okay, so we've dug a little channel here just to get it squared, make these look squared like the other side. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to round this out real quick, and then I'm going to tape it up and prep it for painting. So let's see here. Here's the final result after a single coat of paint. And you can see it is nearly indistinguishable one side from the other. If you do a good bit of prep work and a good bit of sanding, you can get a pretty good result out of the JB Weld. So I'm pretty happy about that. You know, the interesting thing about this is not a real visible piece. It does hang down underneath the engine. I don't have the engine right here. It is currently drying as well from a paint job. So. But I'll show you on the final build once we get it all finished off what it all looks like. But it's not terribly visible, but details count, and I thought that looked pretty good, all things considered. Not happy with the bend right there, but this isn't exactly new metal, and it tends to be a little bit brittle. And since it had already broken in one place, I didn't want to give it another chance to break in another. So I'm going to leave that where it is. It looks pretty good. And certainly didn't take very much and wasn't a big expensive repair. Took me probably about 15 cents worth of JB Weld and a little bit of time and effort, and that's the result that I got. So that's it for now, folks, and I'll catch up on what's going on with the rest of this engine once the paint starts drying and it's time to put it back together. Thanks for watching.